is Mel Allen. Coming up on This Week in Baseball, the streaking Pirates continue to amaze, pulling off a rash of small miracles to stay on top. But in Baltimore, man, they're talking nonstop blues.
We were looking to have Bob on the air and tell the Orioles won to sort of galvanize the city.
Does everybody hate the team now?
And a pair of dashing leadoff hitters who feature power and speed. But don't you dash off yet, because coming up straight away, it's time for This Week in Baseball.
I'm Mel Proctor along with John Lowenstein. You know, John, when I left for the airport this morning, my neighbor said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm headed to Kansas City to see the Orioles play." And he said, "What? Have you lost your head?"
No, the Orioles have just plain lost. In fact, going nothing for 20, their first 20, they tied the American League record for the longest losing streak of all time. The Major League record is 23. In Baltimore, the question on every fan's mind is, when would the O's finally win one? And though disheartened by Oriole misfortune, the city has rallied around the hapless team.
They really just do enjoy Major League Baseball here, and they've been burned a few other times with the teams leaving, and it's just it's a showing that they don't want the team to go, and they'll come out to support it no matter what the situation is.
While some well-wishers have flocked to the ticket windows, there are those who have come up with novel solutions to the losing streak.
We had a gentleman from Florida call and very seriously suggested that our players choose another player from the opposing team, write their name on a piece of paper, put the paper in their shoe, and then stomp up and down them. This is supposed to break them spiritually and enable us to start winning the games.
No Orioles supporter has been more vocal or more enduring than WIYY disc jockey Bob Rivers, who promised to stay on the air until the streak ends. He began the marathon at 5:30 the morning of loss number 11. Over 200 hours, minus a cat nap every now and then.
We're not looking for any Guinness Book of World Records here. We're not looking for a sleepless marathon. We were looking to have Bob on the air and tell the Orioles won to sort of galvanize the city. I think we accomplished that. His personal life, of course, is he has none. Basically, he stays here at the station. We have an office that we've set up for with a cot, and that's where he gets some sleep. Kind of looks like a dorm room.
98 Rock Rolling Stones ain't too proud to beg.
Our afternoon jock, Chris Emery, looked at me and said, "You know, if they don't win, you ought to stay on the air until they do." Seemed like a good idea at the time. I figured it'd last a day or two.
98 Rock in hour number 184.
We had the amazing Kreskin on a couple of games back, and he did this, like, mind meld thing where the whole city closes their eyes and concentrates and tries to make the team win, and we envisioned Orioles win on the headline of the next page, next day's paper, and that was the game. They gave up 9 runs in the first inning.
Talk about taking yourself out of a game. It is 9-0 with 1 out in the first.
I don't know where Kreskin is today, and he hasn't called me back.
98 Rock, Baltimore's home of rock and roll. After midnight, hey, tonight, tonight's the night.
Tonight. It's really hard. Both those last things were shot. One should have been a home run, and the other one do.
Why don't you break? Thanks, but one of these nights we'll do that. 98 Rock.
Please until bring shoes and coffee. 98 Rock.
Here, and 2 more. Driven to the gap in left center. Bucket racing over there. Won't get there. Billy Ripken turns third. He'll be waved in, and the Orioles take a 2-0 lead on Cal Ripken's double.
High fly ball right field. Landrum going back. Home run push. Twins lead 3-2.
And right now is where you start thinking if you're a Baltimore Oriole. Here we go again. Fly ball down the left field line. Going to be a long run for Gladney. Makes the grab. And the the streak continues.
Until the Orioles win a game, we're still here. Obviously, it did not work out too well tonight. We saw some good things. We saw some pretty bad things, but we're here.
I would just like to see the Orioles win one game for now, and then they'll win them all once they come home. And I will just get some sleep, and that will be nice.
Well, all I can tell you is that the magic in This Week in Baseball will help you out. Won't that be nice? Meanwhile, the A's are feeling loose these days, putting the hurt on just about everyone. Ow! Fact is, it's been all too painful trying to face Oakland's heavy hitters like Jose Canseco, who's thirsty for a third straight 30 home run season. Already he's hit 7. Canseco's clout came as no surprise, but his 8 steals sure did.
People don't realize just how complete a player Jose can be. You know, his home runs and his RBIs, they stand out, and everybody points to that. But he really can be a very good base runner. He's got a stolen base total up. He wins games for the A's with his bat, with his glove, and with his base running.
Pitching ace Dave Stewart wins games with a steady repertoire of fastballs. Last year, he joined Roger Clemens as the league's only 20-game winners, and this season jumped out to a perfect 5-0 record. Dennis Eckersley deserves a lot of the credit, having saved 4 of Stewart's 5 wins. In all, the Eck has a league-leading 9 saves, while Oakland has won 8 of 9 to stay on top of the West. Up next, the story of 2 leading men, Ellis Burks of the Boston Red Sox and Barry Larkin of the Cincinnati Reds. First and foremost, the 2 have the stuff of which leadoff hitters are made. But add to that, a knack for the long ball.
Center field, deep. It's a home run.
This year, I seem to, have my head down a little more, making better contact, and going with the ball as well. And by that, I'm going to hit higher for an average, and, on-base percentage will be better.
Once on base, the dashing center fielder gives Boston a rare commodity, speed.
The day when Red Sox ball club just tries to bang that wall and outscore opposition are over. At least if I have my way, they are. But to add the speed there gives you so many more dimensions in which to score.
I hope to steal 40 to 50 bases. Last year I stole 27 and, about 3/4 of the season, and I didn't go all the time. So that's going to be a big difference for me, just to have the green light.
Barry Larkin's also on the go. With 9 stolen bases already, he's just about a cinch to top his 21 steals of last year.
Larkin had his best year of his career in the minor leagues when he was AAA Player of the Year in Denver, so we don't anticipate any problems there. I just expect them to be consistent, do their job, and don't worry about making the flashy plays, just make the routine plays. I think that's all any manager wants from his shortstop is just when you need a double play, make it. If you have the ground ball, turn a double play. Don't worry about diving into left field and making a play with nobody on. Just make the routine plays, and the good plays will come along.
I have a lot of more things I want to improve on, but I'm going out and I'm learning every day. I'm playing with a childhood idol of mine, David Concepcion, and playing against another one, Ozzie Smith. And, I'm learning from both those guys as well as the other shortstops around the league. So as long as I keep my ears open and my mouth closed, I think I'll be all right.
A modest proposal from the Red shortstop, who's among league leaders in hits and runs. And as for Ellis Burks, don't rule out 30 homers and 30 steals for him someday. And for both, it's only the beginning. Time now for this week's quiz, brought to you by Chevrolet. The Yankees' Dave Winfield has a major league leading 27 RBIs. Can you name the American leaguer with the most RBIs in one season? Pirate fever is brewing in Pittsburgh, where the once dormant Bucks have come alive. Winning 14 of their first 19 games, the Pirates have been pulling off small miracles in their leap to the top of the East. Bobby Bonilla deserves a lot of the credit. Last year, he hit 15 homers and an even 300. And with a rousing start this season, he promises even better numbers. Watch out, too, for catcher Mike LaValliere, who's proved an admirable successor to Tony Pena. Last year, LaValliere emerged as one of the league's best catchers, winning a Gold Glove award and leading all Major League catchers in throwing out base runners. No wonder he's quickly earning respect.
Mike LaValliere, you think sometimes he should be bowling on Tuesday night with his name on his back and a Budweiser in his hand, and he's just happens to be the best catcher in the National League.
This glove isn't gold, it's leather.
Certain little things that we do to help the great base stealers such as a Vince Coleman, a Tim Raines, not get quite as good a jump. And that's something that really helps my job out. And there's no telling, you know, what can happen whenever a pitching staff gives the catcher a chance. And that's all that any catcher ever wants.
LaValliere's catching may be a huge asset, but his bat is a must. Batting better than .400, he's one of many young players giving the Pirates a new look. With so much talent in Pittsburgh, could be the Bucks a rebound for glory sooner than expected.
We've just got a good, talented team here, and, you know, we've got an awful lot of pride. You know, we don't want to be doorsteps, and we don't want to finish second place. We want to finish in first place. You know, whether that's reasonable this year or next year, that remains to be seen, but there's enough talent here and enough people have enough pride in their work to come out and give their best every day.
Hey, what have we here? Precipitation in Los Angeles? Indeed, for the first time ever, 3 straight games rained out at Dodger Stadium. That may have been a welcome sight last year when the Dodgers were down in the dumps, but not so these days, as Los Angeles opened the season with 12 wins in their first 17 games, and for the first time in 2 years, led the West Division. Tommy Lasorda got some unexpected punch at the plate from Mike Scioscia, who fired up his bat with a .475 average. Quite an about-face for the veteran catcher, and for LA's offense, which finished last in batting last year. As usual, pitching has been solid and steady. Orel Hershiser won his first 4 starts. Seems well on his way to bettering his 16-win total of last year. Hershiser got a little support from the Dodger offense in '87, but he sees all that changing now that LA has a revamped lineup.
Well, I'm excited about the new offense. Of course, I lost 8 one-run ball games last year and 1 two-run ball game. That could turn a whole season around for me personally, but I think anybody who starts for this club, if they play up to the potential of the guys that we've acquired, has a chance of winning 20. What I'm excited about most is the team's outlook, because with the new surge of offense we have, and hopefully the defense will be a little more secure, I think we're going to have a better ball club.
There's no doubt that the 1988 Dodgers fully intend to be contenders in the National League West.
Remember, to paraphrase the words of a great general who once said, "We shall return, and so will the Dodgers return." Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Tommy. And how about the return of Dennis Martinez, the one-time Oriole pitcher who's made a successful comeback with Montreal? Now in his 12th season, the 33-year-old right-hander is healthy and confident once again. He's fought back from alcoholism. And since last season, when he compiled an 11-4 record with the Expos, Martinez feels he's put his life and his career back in order.
I was just going crazy. I was just concentrating more on drinking than anything else. I didn't care about pitching anymore. I didn't care about myself anymore. That's what it does. So now, I'm really peaceful. I'm really happy the way I am. And the confidence started building up a little bit in myself and the ball club, because the atmosphere, it was great that every time I pitch, they all felt that, okay, we got to win. Even in the defense, even in the street, who's pitching today? Dennis Martinez. Wow, we got to win today.
He pitched himself into a lot of respectability in the league. A lot of so-called baseball people thought he might have been washed up before we got a hold to him, but he didn't let himself become washed up. I can see him working hard every single day, and it's paid off with us. And I think he's happy now. I think he's happy with what he's done. I think we're happy with what he's done. And I think he's the type of pitcher that you can depend on every day to go out and start a game when he's called upon.
Now a mainstay in Montreal's starting rotation, Martinez is just about as delighted with his professional comeback as he is from his personal recovery.
This is a disease, you know, that don't have to do anything with color, race, profession, because it's a lot of hold tight. You know, as a disease that he can get to anybody. Just go your way and do what you have to do to be happy. And I don't care about pitching, though. I don't talk about baseball. I talk about my life.
With a new lease on life, Dennis Martinez is starting over. Time now for the answer to this week's quiz, brought to you by Chevrolet. In 1931, Lou Gehrig of the Yankees collected 184 RBIs, most ever by an American leaguer. Hey, guys, what's your predicament? Oh, I see, some sort of impediment. Well, let's change the scene to something more serene. No, that's not what I had in mind. I meant plays of quite a different kind. Oh, well, let the bloopers prevail. Everyone agrees they never get stale. You again? And the donut still stuck? That's what I call being out of luck. Hey, how about this, our final kicker? You think the ball will surely drop, but Ellis Burks is one step quicker. Now let's travel to our next feature for gems of defense that'll make you shake and shiver. We start with Detroit's Chet Lemon. Steve Buechele, Texas Rangers. Texas teammate Scott Fletcher. Cal Daniels, Cincinnati Reds. California's Johnny Ray. Yankees' Tim Stoddard. Philadelphia's Bob Dernier. Montreal's Tim Wallach. Jack Howell, California. New York Mets' Wally Backman. Glenn Bragg's Milwaukee. To the wall, Devon White, Angels. And finally, Fred Lynn, Baltimore. Hey, fellas, well done. Now let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the majors. Boston's Roger Clemens, aiming for a third straight Cy Young Award, raised his record to a perfect 4-0 when he shut out Milwaukee for the third consecutive time, going back to last year.
Last year, he won 20 games and got off to a very slow start, missed spring training, ended up not getting started until probably sometime in late May. It's hard to say what Roger could do. He could win 25, he could win 30 games. When he gets into his game and pitching like he can, he's invincible.
I had Tom Seaver in Cincinnati, and he reminds me so much of Tom Seaver, it's not funny. This young man could go on to real greatness.
I just hate losing. And, you know, when I got here, the guy said, well, you're going to have to accept losing. And I told him I'm never going to accept losing. I've never liked losing. It's just that the desire to compete and to win, you know, I want to win at everything I do. It seems like I've always been that way when I was a kid.
It's San Diego and bust for the Houston Astros whenever they pay a visit. Houston's most recent trip was spoiled by rookie Roberto Alomar, who bedeviled Astro pitching for 4 hits, including a game winner, plus providing an ample sample of his defensive talents. Andy Hawkins added to Houston's homesick blues in the series finale by throwing a one-hitter. And with the 3-game sweep, the Padres handed the Astros their 10th straight loss at San Diego. Hey, what's with those amazing Mets? They just can't seem to catch the Cardinals' Vince Coleman. You see, he had collected 31 straight steals against New York, and then, while standing on third base in this game, tried for 32.
Fernandez has already had one guy try to steal home against him. That was Bob Dernier of the Phillies.
Look at that lead Coleman has. Here he comes. And he is safe.
Just like that, a clean steal of home. And just like that, the Mets' Keith Hernandez got hot, snapping out of a woeful slump by pounding Atlanta pitching. In 2 games, he collected 3 homers and 9 RBIs, including career RBI number 1,000. In the series, manager Davey Johnson also picked up career win number 400. Time now for our Player of the Week, brought to you by Old Spice. Make no mistake, Cleveland's Joe Carter carries some kind of clout. In 4 games recently, the Indian center fielder smashed 5 homers, drove in 15 runs. And what's more, with his 21 RBIs and all, Carter has sparked the first-place Tribe to a 16-4 record, the club's best start in 47 years. Our continuing series on 1968 takes us to Chicago's Wrigley Field, where Ferguson Jenkins was king of the hill, and as usual, winning 20 games. That's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.